Good morning, everyone. And I would say welcome to our Behind Her Brand Monday Morning Brew. I know today is Tuesday, so obviously it's not Monday. We had some technical difficulties yesterday, and I decided instead of waiting to next week that I still wanted to hop on here because sometimes life is just that way, right? But first and foremost, I hope that you're having an absolutely great start to your week. And I hope for each of you listening today that this week is going to be a really good, intentional week for you. So I just wanted to share something. I had wrote this down the other day. I was working on something, and this is what I wanted to share on our Monday morning brew. Was that I had a really great conversation about a couple weeks ago with a group of women in business, and they were sharing about all these different things that they're doing and building and growing. And then that statement comes up that I'm exhausted. I feel like I'm doing so much and I'm just not getting traction. I'm just not really seeing a lot of things. And this reminded me of something what I wanted to hop on here and say that so often we can confuse movement with progress. I can run in place and I can break a sweat and I can be physically moving and still not moving from running in place. We all know the hamster wheel, running, 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 and not going anywhere. And I feel like so often as women who are all building and growing, we can get so caught up in busyness that we forget about being productive and really seeing if what we're doing is full of progress. And what made me want to talk about this today is, when you think about everything that you're putting in place and everything that you want to grow and build and do and all the things in between, so often we feel like we have to add more and more and more. That every time we hear about a new program, a new app, a new event, a new this, a new that, we feel like we have to keep adding, 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 adding to the point that we are busy. Our schedules are full, but we're not being productive. We're not producing. We're not seeing results. And one of the things that I find that ends up happening when we get to that place is the very thing that we love to do in the beginning becomes the very thing that we despise to do in the end. When you love building and do, I mean, build, I mean, I'm sorry, when you love what your business is and what you want to put out there in the world, if you crowd it with things that are going to stifle it, crowd it with things that are not really going to position you and help you to grow, you're going to find that you're not going to wake up with as much joy to pursue it because you're going to see a full calendar of busyness, but not productivity, not activities that are going to actually really make movement. So if you ever find yourself in that position and you ask yourself, like, well, then what do I do, Kim? Because I'm producing multiple podcasts a week. I'm attending 3 or 4 networking events a week, and I'm just not really making connections. I'm doing all the things. This is a good time to really consider to self-edit. Look at the activities that you're doing. Maybe it's not that going to 3 or 4 networking meetings is a problem. Maybe it's the ones that you're going to. Maybe you're going to too many and not spending time just really building those quality relationships at this one that you're like, this is where I really feel like I need to be. So let me focus on being intentional here. Maybe you don't need to produce multiple content, despite what all the experts say. Consistency is important. But if you're just producing just to produce, you're going to find that you're not producing your best quality work, right? So maybe spend some time really thinking about, okay, what is it that I really want to say? Let me jot it all down and then create content based off of this and roll it out that way. Maybe it's once a week. Maybe it's going to be once every other week. Whatever the consistency that you need in place that won't be busy, but will allow productivity to take place, do that. But I find self editing is so important to make sure that you're just not doing, right? You're just not showing up, but you're actually creating real, true, intentional work. Because here's the thing, I've said this in different podcasts before, I mean podcasts, but morning brews before. We each have gifts and talents. And gifts are something, in my opinion, to be cherished. It's something that to be valued. And the gifts that you have within you, the talents that you have within you, those are things that you really want to value. Those are things that are given to you to help be a blessing to your life, to help create increase in your life, to help things in your life to grow, but also to help bless others. So if you find yourself busy, tired, and feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm doing all this stuff and it's not making anything go, so maybe I just won't do it, to me, it's like you rob yourself of the best gift of allowing that thing that you are called to do to make room for you and to be a blessing to others. So I just want to challenge you. This is a very quick brew this morning to self edit. Take an inventory. Really look at what is it that I'm doing, what I'm really pouring into, who is it that I'm spending time with, who is it that I'm really and truly being around as I'm growing. Look at what is it that I'm really and truly focusing on every single day. What is it that I'm creating? I know there are a lot of different questions, right? But when you really do a real edit and you take just even an hour of your time to do this, you're going to find, okay, I need to change this up. I need to switch this around. Maybe I need to do less of this. Maybe I need to spend more time on that. And then you're going to watch that you go from being busy and having movement. I'm sorry, busy and doing a lot of things, but no progress, to moving into a space of where you're really and truly generating real progress in your business. I do this particular activity, honestly, about, I would say, once a quarter religiously. I really do, because my schedule can get really filled up. And sometimes it can sneak up on you. You don't even realize it, that I have to say, back it up, rewind. And whenever I feel like I'm like, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm moving into busyness and I need to go back into productivity and really looking at what is it that I need to do? Where do I need to self edit? And every time I do that, it never fails. My progress, my results show up much stronger. So I just want to encourage you today just to don't confuse movement with progress. Don't let busyness be the marker that you are building if you're not seeing the results. Really focus on what is moving you forward and what does that need to look like for you. Okay. If you have any questions, post below. And maybe this is something that you have actually worked through yourself. Share your tips, share ideas, share maybe even strategies that you use to say, you know what, Kim, I've been there. I know what that's like to feel like I am so busy, and realizing, man, I'm not generating the clients, the results, the profit, the margins. I'm not generating anything. If you've gone through that and you've been able to move into a new phase, would love to hear your thoughts on that. Or maybe you're in that place right now and you're like, I would love some insight on how I can get out of this space. Consider what I shared, and then consider what other people's posts too. Find what works for you to really move yourself from just moving and not progressing to really moving and making real progress. All right. So I hope you guys have a great day. This is your Tuesday morning brew, and I will see you back next Monday. Well, I think I will be.